Today we got a nice group of people here hanging out and talking about various things and various geekeries. Paul, are you still arrested from Garden State Comic Fest?
I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm geeking out right now, Ralph. John, I had that clock on your wall. That was like the best Batman clock ever, man. I had that clock. I don't know what happened to it, but man, I love that clock so much. And
yeah, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. It just stopped working, but I didn't want to get rid of it.
It doesn't matter, man. That was like the coolest clock. I think it was like a Dick Giordano Batman or whatever. It was so good. Yeah. And I can't remember what happened, but I got that as a kid, and I kept it for like 25 years, and then I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I love that. It's such a great clock.
I don't remember where I got it from, but I've had it for probably about 20 years now.
Sorry, I digress. I'm sorry, Raphael. We're getting back to it. We're getting serious now.
Not get much more nerdy than clocking.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're already doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're messing with the geekery. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm still tired from Garden State Comic Fest, Paul.
Oh, you were working hard. I was just standing around talking to people. You were like actually walking around and interviewing everybody. That's a harder job than what I did.
Yeah, but I've done your job too, and it takes a lot of work.
It was a blast. I think we had a great time. I mean, we had a good turnout. I think being where Kevin Eastman was on Saturday especially was good for us because a lot of people walking by the booth, and it was awesome. I mean, we have a system set up where we're capturing email addresses from visitors to the booth. We have a contest that we offer, and we call it our Summer Bucket of Fun. And basically, it's a pail and shovel, but it has a book, either Amelia Earhart, Pioneer of the Sky, or Benjamin Banneker and his clock, and they get to choose which book they want. We offer a T-shirt along with some stickers, and so it's really cool, and people get interested in it. And I draw like 4 prizes and send them off. It's just a matter of getting people to respond to the email. That's a big challenge right now. So, but it's good.
Yeah, I used to have more trouble trying to get people to sign up for my email list, but I actually give away a free comic now. It's only an 8-page comic, and if you sign up for my email list, you get the comic.
Yeah,
my email list has like grown so quick.
Yeah, it's funny because I had the preview issue for sale at our booth, John, and it got to the point on Sunday. I said, I'm just going to give these away because I think, you say, hey, you want a free book and I'll sign it for you type thing, and say, I'll take it. So they come over, and then while I'm trying to get the book out of the bag, my wife Mary's like pitching time and forces to them. It was great. So it was good. It was very good.
Yes, it was. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it's always fun dressing up in cosplay. I mean, we go in character for these things. If I'm not exhibiting, then I even go when I attend. And, people always confuse me for Doc Brown or Albert Einstein or what's the other one? Rick from Rick and Morty. I get it all. So it's pretty funny.
Oh, you're the... Have you gotten Dr. Wily yet?
No, I haven't gotten Dr. Wily yet, no. I'm waiting for more people to come out of the woodworks in terms of describing who I am. So I want to get to the point saying, hey, are you C.T. Haugens from Time Force? Yes, I am.
There we go. Now we can talk it.
Now I know I made a convert.
I'm going to guess also that what they think you are depends on the day of the con. On the last day, you probably look like Rick Sanchez the most.
Yeah. That's true.
That's so true. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, I figured.
That makes so much sense. I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
I thought the best con though was it wasn't Cradle Con. It was the other one we did, Ralph, on Long Island at Hofstra. What one was that? That was Eternal.
Yeah.
And I was downstairs and I was walking around, and this guy dressed up as Doc Brown from the future. Doc Brown and Back to the Future, so like episode 3. So he's like in the hair with the glasses and like the long trench coat. I said, dude, I gotta get a picture with you. So he pulls me over. It's like, but I'm not Doc Brown. I said, I don't care. This is awesome. It was so funny.
Doc.
It was so funny.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love the fact that it was air conditioned and cold in there.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, having a con in a hockey rink is probably one of the best things.
I don't know, man. There was one of the cons I was at. They put my table directly underneath the industrial air conditioning unit.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay, so we went back out to the car to get jackets, and my kids spent the entire con under my table because they were so cold that they were trying to like prevent the wind from getting to them. So
yeah. Once you're
you,
under one of those vents, you know what it is that you're under the vent, so you don't get a chance to warm up.
yeah, never, except for when you're away from the table.
Exactly. And that means that you have to leave, warm up outside, and then come back in. But then you're directly under the vent.
And it's
'Cause
like
I've
20
been
degrees
directly
below
under the
zero
vent.
outside too. So
Oh man, folks, if you get a chance to go to Garden State Comic Fest, I think they got Vineland in November 13 and 14. I think 12 or 13, 12 or 13.
yep,
Go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
it was a blast. I mean, I like exhibiting at the cons. It's great meeting all the people, and it's funny. Mary says this too. It's like people I think have this like tunnel vision when they walk through these things. I think they're
I
thinking
agree.
Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC,
Yes, they are.
and so if we hook them in, and we tell them our product, it's like wow, eyes light up. It's great. It's like then I think that overall is like hopefully they do the same thing for the indie guys too, because Ralph is such a great promoter of all indie creators, and what he does in terms of bringing this community to light, it's amazing. I mean, I walk over there now and I know half the guys that are tabling. It's so
Yep.
cool, and it's like it's one, it's great meeting these people, but two, it's like the talent that they share is just incredible. And I think really having people understand that, take a chance at indie, check it out. It's definitely worth the while, because these are really creative individuals that are doing great stuff, and it's worth looking at. So
Yes, folks. Make sure to, I know you love your DC and Marvel, but come on, there's some great indie comics out there.
yeah, how many Wolverines and Deadpools can you have? Really, come on,
Yeah.
it's like come on, enough already.
And I gotta say, this in particular, and I might be partial because I have my own teddy bear. I love what you're doing with this, and it as much as it feels like a teddy bear story, it doesn't feel like it, and you've done a great job at that.
It's not the typical "hey, your toy comes alive" kind of concept. It's and it definitely shows some different aspects of it, and like just now in the issue that we just released, the one that we're doing this Kickstarter for, you see the teddy bear moving around doing all this stuff in the first issue, and he is pretty much a victim in the second one, and then in the third one she manages to find him again. So we're coming full circle on that part of the story, and then kind of getting deeper into her fears and deeper into the wonder and some of the more beautiful aspects of the dream world. So I'm excited to show those, and I'm super excited because that was 39 a couple of hours ago. So that means we're at 40, and you know what my favorite part about 40 is? And on 40, a milestone where my sister said she would do a live poetry reading. So that means she's going to be doing a live poetry reading for all the backers and whatnot. So I'm excited. Last time I did a live reading for one of the books, and it was hard because I was still under recovery. So that means she's got to do it this time as fair shake, and I am excited to see that.
Oh my god, I love when you guys do all this stuff in the Kickstarters themselves, because I feel like it engages the audience to continue to pay attention to it.
Well, it does, and a lot of the activities for milestones and things like that, that's what it is. It's supposed to keep engagement with the audience and make it a little more fun. There's my sister. She's going to do that live read poem. I got to call her and set that up, as a matter of fact. And then if we reach 45, I am going to be reading issue number 2 live.
Oh, cool.
which has got its own challenges for me, but I welcome it. The recovery has been nice to me. I don't feel like I'm speaking funny anymore. And
Oh, I
we
love
do
this.
have some stuff coming up. I'm putting up two different live reads, and then on the 75th, I'm going to be including the Nod mini prints, and hopefully, I get to the point where I need a few bit more.
That's always a great thing when you got to add more to it. I
I
still love
agree.
this cover. And as we were talking about the story, I like the flip of the story because usually it's all about the toys doing whatever they're doing. You rarely ever see where the child has to do something. You know?
Well, it is, but also growing up in the time period I grew up in, and all the movies and all the animations and things like that, you're starting to see it a little bit, but I grew up on watching things like Never Ending Story
Yeah,
and let's see here, things like Legend and other different fantasies, Flight of the Navigator, where part of it was about the journey the kid was on,
yeah,
and where they went from the victim to how they found their strength. That was a big motivation in writing the story, because at the time, and I've since tested it, I am very, very aware of my mortality, and I wanted to make sure that there was certain messages and understandings for my kids to have.
right.
And as I was doing it, and I was fine tuning the story, that's where Kira's like, hey, you know what? Maybe this will help other people besides just your kids. And so
Yeah,
um, we're always polishing it, and we're trying to, like, she one of the things she does professionally is she's with a social assistance program not too far from here, and she helps families get back on their feet and deal with trauma and a bunch of other things. And it's one of the things that she uses to help explain that. And there's plenty of people who have bought it and been able to identify with the loss and with the hope and the trying to realize her inner strength. And the story itself um, is about a little girl who loses her father because he gets ill, and all that grief, all that pain, basically attracts nightmares from the dreamlands, and they're coming basically to take away that energy, take away that youth, that exuberance, that innocence away from her. And this is about how they go about doing it. She's got the teddy bear Patches who's trying to protect her from all those things, and one of them drags him into the dreamlands and basically dares her to come after him. And so we're basically along the journey with her, trying to find him and bring him home. And along the way, she gets to meet some interesting allies. That's Gandalf right there. That's her pet hamster that manages to hitch a ride in the dream world. He can talk. So he's always trying to advise her. And there's other characters like Misako, this giant dream cat that's trying to keep her safe and things like that. And she runs into other monsters all along the way, trying to find him and bring him home.
Great journey. I always love the hero's journey.
I agree. It is it the hero's journey pattern kind of throws some weight that people can identify with, and
Right.
they find pieces of them that they're missing, and they find reasons to find that strength within themselves. And when you follow that kind of a structure, and we definitely try to adhere to that as much as possible, give people a chance to find some of those sources of strength within them.
I like this cover.
That's Jared. He's a super cool guy. Every week I try to participate in Scatter Comics with Jason Doobie. Does a live, like, free draw where he does an indie character,
Right.
and he posts up some examples, and several of us other indie creators also try to do that. like Ralph Warner and Keith Carmona and a couple of others.
Right.
And this was the product of Jared's mind. That is Patches hanging out with Rob Motari's Wolf Cub character.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, Jared did that one for me on when we were doing the last Kickstarter. So it was a little bit late to what we were doing. So I used it as an alt cover for this one.
That's great. And I love this whole cross promotion and crossover type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to lift everybody else up. You got to help other creators.
I agree. That's what we like to do here.
The artwork almost looks like watercolor. It's so good,
Yeah.
James. I mean, I was just admiring your page because I had to find it myself because Ralph didn't put the link in the chat yet. So that's okay.
Hey,
But
we're talking here.
that's okay. I wanted to back it, and fortunately, to find the link myself, and I did do that. But regardless, I found the artwork to be really amazing. It's just the way you use colors, especially the tonality, is very almost limited on the panels to a certain color set. It's really cool. I like it a lot.
I appreciate that a lot, Paul. I'm actually colorblind.
Ah.
I don't see red and green the way everybody else does, and so it has some weird effects. So a lot of times I'll make my kids come over and tell me, "Does this look right? Does this look right?" And then save the color profile so that I can reuse it. And the watercolor feel where we're getting all those different levels and the rest of that. I'm always trying to like play with light. It's something I tried on the very first book I was at, which is a great deal of time ago. That was that was 2014. That first book was a gray tone horror book called Inheritance. And it was very beautiful, but it was also had a lot of work put into it. And I tried to simplify over time so that I could replicate that easily. And I've been working on it ever since. I'm actually going to do a giveaway here soon. I'll be letting everybody who's following it an update know tomorrow. Where I'm going to set a date and I'm going to do a raffle, and one of the backers is going to get an ink wash that I'm doing because I am trying to play with it digitally, and you see that in the comic, and I'm trying to do it, but I'm also trying to do it in real life with blacks and grays and other things like that. But all of it's kind of it's more than just practice. I'm trying to get I'm not to the point where I was before, but I'm probably like 99%. And I've come a long way since last year, and I'm really grateful that I'm not walking around in circles and all the other problems that I had. But doing that and practicing my fine motor skills and things like that and not giving up on it is how you get there. So I'll be working on that, and I'm actually shocked that the stuff came out near my level from before. So
Ralph, could you click on the inside the book again? Examples.
Hold on. Which way?
No, click on the left inside the book examples.
Fourth one down from the top, bud.
There you go.
There we
go. You go. Good. Now scroll down. This just blew my mind. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop.
That is awesome.
Keep going. Keep going. A little bit further. Here, this panel here. This is amazing. Go down just a little bit more. Just that bottom set of panels alone, that's really incredible, James. I mean, you got the shadows working on his face. You got him on her face. His face, her face. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love the way the eyes there, and you get the shadows coming over it. It's amazing. I just love that. It's so cool.
That when I got sick the first time when I had to fight the cancer, I spent a lot of time stuck in the hospital room with just myself and the machine that was sending chemo into me. And
Oof.
most of the time it wasn't that bad. But there was this moment where they said, hey, you're not going to really enjoy the next piece. You'll be fine for a day or two, but then after that's going to get really hard. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, we're going to, you'll kind of see, we have to put a chemical in you now. We always wait till the end because it's the hardest one to do. Most people don't know it, but chemotherapy was developed because of mustard gas. And most of the chemicals are the chemicals that they've, used to treat people that they've learned about. And they're the same ones that were killing people in World War One. And all the different versions of it and whatnot. But I basically, that light, that green light and those shadows and the rest of it, they were meant to try to duplicate that moment in the hospital, because the father in the storyline is not going to make it out of the hospital, and I was trying to duplicate the feeling of the scene where I really did live through it, and I didn't know whether I was going to get out of there or not. So I tried to visually represent those moments when I was just in there and shadows were growing long, and the only light was the green light from an irradiated chemical that it was so toxic that they had to change out the plastic lines when they switched over other things because it reacts and destroys it.
Wow,
And they have to keep it in glass bottles, not plastic, because it eats through it all.
Wow.
So it's meant to kind of duplicate that moment.
God bless you, man. I'm glad you came through it. Really okay. That's had to be horrible.
Trust me, so am I very much every single day. That's kind of what the key was to getting through all the other stuff that's happened. Most people have side effects. I haven't really had that many. But when some of them cropped up last year and messed me up, it was a lot easier because I had a lot of family support like I did last time. And I also had the knowledge that I survived that. So I got to survive at least one more time. And I had people like my wife, who is awesome and supportive, and my kids and my friends and my sister, all trying to, help me through it. And that scene has kind of meant that. And so I wanted to make sure that those gray tones felt that lonely, but the green light was there and sickly. And I did all kinds of visual tricks on that. Like if you look at the background, it's not white. It's got this very subtle green tint just to make it feel weird. So
yeah,
I did all kinds of things so that the scene is unsettling. It attracts your eye on purpose.
It has that nightmare feel to it, but at the same time, there are moments where it just feels very dreamlike.
I'm really happy you said that. A lot of work went into try to keep that dreamy feeling, and a lot of people have described it as surreal or dreamlike.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that it kept that feeling because that is not easy to pull off.
No, it's not. It's a difficult thing.
I'm trying to keep it there.
Hey, you're doing a good job, brother.
But thank you, Paul.
No, you're welcome. I mean, it's beautiful. I really want to see you get this funded, James. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks I think I'm going to have to go to Kickstarter and back it because it looks really good.
Oh, it's fantastic, folks. I already have issue 1 and 2. I'm looking forward to issue 3.
Well, I signed up for all 3 tiers. I wanted all 3 of them, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's exciting. And there's going to be a total of 6 issues in the end. We're in the middle where things escalate, and we've got the script written for the 4th and most of the 5th, and we're in the middle of writing the 6th, and art's already begun on the next issue. So making progress.
That is really good because not many people can say what you just said. We've seen enough projects here where they get stalled.
Um, I'm that's one thing I'm fortunate. It does take me a little bit longer to put the books out, but because I'm doing all the artwork, the
Right.
person who's stalling out is me.
I gotta say, you say it takes you a while, but you were here with us a year ago doing the second Kickstarter, and here you are a year later doing the third Kickstarter. I feel like that's pretty good.
And I appreciate that too, but dang it, I should be on the fourth or fifth. And it drives me crazy. Like a couple of people have told me that, but it's hard to give yourself credit when you just look at what you wanted to do and what you haven't,
I get you.
and celebrate that win. Like, James, you had a stroke. Be nice to yourself. And
Exactly.
I can't. I should have 2 more books done.
Let's go to the videotape and show off your video. Here we go.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for some Paladin Nod. We are returning here. We are up with issue number 3, where the story takes a turn, because life takes a turn. In our story, Faye has managed to go from the place where she is the scared little girl. She is the person and creature filled with fear that has attracted all these nightmares from the dream world. The only thing protecting her was Patches, and he's been drug away, drug into the darkness. But now is the moment we've all been waiting for. Now is the moment where she finds Patches. She gets to face the demon that took the one thing that she felt safe with. But you want to know what? She's got friends with her, and they get involved. And you know what? Life is not as simple as we'd all like it to be. Now, everybody who has had the courage to go ahead and back us before, please go ahead and take a look at the following video and do so. And everybody else who hasn't done it before, take a moment to look at the videos that comes up, because I want to share this story. I want to get it out to people who are afraid of the darkness. I want to get it out to everybody who needs to hear the words. Never underestimate a girl and her teddy bear.
I gotta say, I like showing the video because you do a great job with it. Each piece of music feels like it moves into the next piece of music. When you're speaking, the music you have behind you, it feels very spiritual, very in with what you're saying, and then the music that comes with the video itself. It all seems to work together to give you this feeling, and again, it goes with that weird dreamlike feeling that you're working with for your book, and you finish watching it and you kind of feel like, what was that, but in a good way.
That is pretty cool, especially most of the videos I did before this were for Damage Inc., and that's just heavy metal and blowing things up and explosions. So it's definitely different than the past. And I really wanted, it was important to both Kira and I that anytime people see the book or see any of the videos, that they really do get a feeling that, yeah, it's scary, but there's there's something wondrous and beautiful going on as well.
You do a good job at showcasing it. I feel like if somebody comes onto your Kickstarter, they know what they're getting,
I hope so.
which is
That's the
important
goal,
because
right?
I've been to a Kickstarter where you go on, you watch the video, you look at the information, and you're sitting there going, "What?"
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen. Oh, I'm a part of Comics Launch, so there's a lot of studying and a lot of tips and a lot of help to get us to there. And one of the
Right.
first things is clever does not beat simple in any way. Try to convey what you want, not
Right.
what you want them to figure out. It's
Yeah.
it's not film school.
It's funny that you say that because as writers, we have a bad habit of doing that, especially when we're explaining to other people our story or what we're writing, because we're sitting there going, "Well, I want you to figure this out," So you kind of like leave things out that are important to tell people because it's information they need to know about what the story is.
You always want that feeling as a creator to interact with people, right?
Yeah.
Like John, when people tell you about your books, you want them to tell you what they like about it, and it's even better when the thing that they like about it is the same thing you like about it, and then you feed off each other, right?
Yeah.
And every creator, every writer is always chasing that, and then some of us chase it a little too hard and forget that, some people need to understand things a little bit differently.
I agree. Yeah, and it's just the way it is. And John, that's a great segue into your what you're doing. So why don't you tell the people what it is that you got going while I show it off on the side?
I have a Fund My Comic on a different crowdfunding site. It's the Diebold Comics Digital Library. I've got, I think, 16 single issues up there right now and 3 trades. So, yeah, I just printed just sent to, or just got back from the printer, one of my newest comic, and
Right.
I think I'm up to 26 comics that I've published so far.
Ooh.
So now some of those are reprints of stuff that back in the 90s, or actually the 80s, when the black and white boom started, I was
Right.
publishing to like Innovation and Fantagraphics and Caliber and Kitchen Sink, and some of that old work I've taken and repackaged and put out. So, but about half of it's old and half of it's new stuff, I think. So I think I put about 16 issues up there. The single issues are $5 and the trades are $10. It's all digital. There's no print. I wanted to see how just a digital crowdfunder went, because I've noticed in a lot of crowdfunding now, a good percentage of the campaign is digital. So I thought, this gives me an easy way to get a lot of my product out there, a lot of my books out there in one big swoop, instead of trying to do a Kickstarter for every book or whatever.
I gotta say that $50 for all these books,
yeah,
is wow.
Yeah, I figured it up. It comes to about $1.85, I think, per comic. So you can't get even a digital comic here. It's going to be hard to find for $1.85. So
I agree.
and, I've got some, like just looking at just a girl and her dog. Tony Isabella, who worked for Marvel and DC, he created Black Lightning for DC Comics.
Right.
When A Girl and Her Dog came out, he said that was one of the best comics of the year. He really loved that book. So, that's a real. It's just a slice of life between. It's just showcasing the relationship between the girl and her dog, and throughout their life. Akimi, which I have up there, is one of my newer. We just did that this year, and we've got a second issue out too. So we've got 2 issues of it so far. Alma is What If Buffy Was a 72-year-old grandmother. Buffy, I'm a big Buffy fan, and I'm really bad at trying to come up with log lines for my comics when I create them. It's hard for me to just distill everything into 1 or 2 sentences. But Alma is the best one I've ever come up with. What if Buffy was a 72-year-old grandmother? Because when I tell people that at conventions, even the people that have never watched Buffy, know who Buffy is.
Yeah.
I think I had one person in all the years that I've been doing this tell me they didn't know who Buffy was. But Buffy's become almost an iconic character now. So people know who she is, even if they haven't read it, or
I agree.
watched it before. And Alma is probably one of my most personal books because it's inspired by Buffy, of course, and my mom. My mom's name was Alma, and the original version of it was a 24-page comic. This version of it is 48 pages. Because the 24-page comic I actually got published or printed and out before my mom passed. But not long after that book came out, my mom passed a couple years ago. So I went back and expanded Alma. It was 24 pages of comic. I added 8 more pages of comic story to it. But then I also added recipes for my mom. My mom was writing a diary about her life. I put some pages of that in there. I put just a remembrance by me of my mom. So it's become a very personal book. So, it's got, a lot of my mom and Buffy mixed in. And Alma was my mom's name. When I created the character, I was trying to think of a name that to me was, would be a strong character. And, as far as my mom was concerned, there was nobody stronger. My mom was like, up until her 80s, she was still out there mowing the yard and things like that. So she didn't slow down until she got sick, and then it hit her pretty quick. So I don't think she was really sick for more than a couple years. So she stayed, pretty strong up until the very end. But I've got Death World is an adaptation of that's one of the trades. That's it's an adaptation of Harry Harrison's Death World novels, or his first novel. That's one of the books from back in the black and white days. That originally was published by Malibu Comics. And
I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. So I took it and just put it in a trade. So it turned out really pretty well. The artist on that is Marcel Campos, and from what I understand, this was some of his earliest work. He's from Brazil. He changed his name, I think, to Mark Campos, and was a pretty big artist for Marvel for a little while back.
Yeah.
So Marie Laveau, the book down towards the bottom there, is a book that I give away free at conventions if you sign up for my email list. It's only a little 8-page, it's a little 8-page ghost story feature Marie Laveau. But especially down where I live in Louisiana, Marie Laveau is, voodoo is a very big subject. So
definitely.
Yeah, a lot of I have a banner made for it that I put on my table, and people will see the banner and just run over to my table just to say, "Oh, wow, I want this book." I don't care.
I gotta say, as soon as I was looking at it, that's the first thing that stood out to me was the Marie Laveau.
Yeah, Joe Bushkin is sometimes I have to kind of explain depending on people, especially younger people. But Joe Bushkin is based on if you know who Hunter S. Thompson is, the writer, wrote for Rolling Stone for a long time, created Gonzo journalism, made a couple. I think Johnny Depp played him in one of.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. What you were talking about, Johnny Depp in the movie.
Yeah,
real.
Yeah, so Joe Bushkin is what if Hunter S. Thompson moved to Florida, became a Republican, and retired. So it's not a serious book. So
dude, just that explanation tells me it's not a serious book.
Yeah. So one of the things I write in a lot of different genres. I've got horror up there. I've got science fiction.
I can see.
I've got comedy, Joe Bushkin. So I guess I get bored easy, so I start writing different things. I've got a book on there called Snapshots. It's 64 pages, I think, and it was a collection of short stories that I wrote when I first started writing comics, like stories that had appeared in Kitchen Sink's Death Rattle and other magazines.
Right.
There's 5 stories in there that were drawn by Sam Keith. When Sam first started breaking in, him and I were working together on a lot of stuff. So I worked with Sam before, he sold anything, and we did we did 5 stories. 4 of them have been reprinted in the I Before E collection that Fantagraphics put out, which I think that's out of print now too. But the 5th story, I don't think has ever been reprinted anywhere else. I keep saying that somebody's going to come up and show me that. Yeah, it's referring to me.
It's in this book, man.
But it was actually a story that Dave Garcia, who created PandaCon, drew,
Right.
and Sam inked it. So there's 5 stories in there, early stories by Sam Keith, probably before, some of the stuff was before he did anything else in comics. So, and you could see Sam, he started off almost like drawing just like he ended up, that made him famous. He was good from the go. So, Getaway Driver is a crime story. So that's another, I kind of, like I said, I do different genres. Robot Sex is science fiction. I always have to tell everybody it's not X-rated. I was looking for a title that would kind of like grab people's attention, and it does. 2 Tons of Fury is another comedy issue. Basically, what we did is we took some characters from the public domain, Herbie the Fat Fury and Fat Man the Human Flying Saucer.
That's why they look familiar. Okay.
Yeah, and we created this story. The artist on the book is Larry Guidry, and he's a friend, and he lives near me. He lives in New Orleans, and he's a huge Herbie fan. He's like, he loves Herbie, and he's been after me forever to write a Herbie book, and I kept telling him no, I don't want to write a Herbie book. Well, he was doing for eBay. He was like doing imaginary covers of like the Justice Society and the Justice. He's a big '60s comic fan, and then he actually did this cover for like a imaginary story of these 2 characters meeting. And when I seen the cover, I was like, "All right, you convinced me. I'll write the book." I just that something about that cover just drew me. I was like, "I'll write the book."
I gotta say, the cover does draw you in.
Oh yeah, and the book is as absurd and hilarious and ridiculous as characters with those 2 names. We use other public domain characters. We bring in a character called Billy Bounce, who actually was from like the early 1900s. He was a comic strip. He was created by the artist that did the original illustrations for the first edition of Wizard of Oz.
Whoa.
Yeah, so nobody knows who Billy Bounce. I don't know how I discovered Billy Bounce. Somehow I came across him, and I was like, "Oh, he's got to be in there." We use a Captain Marvel in there that very few people remember. He's not a Marvel Captain Marvel, and he's not a DC Captain Marvel. I don't remember what publisher it was. He's an android that he yells split, and his body comes apart.
Whoa.
So so the book is definitely not to be taken serious, but I had a lot of fun writing it, and we've actually did another issue with Ben Dunn from Antarctica Press.
Right.
He actually published that issue of it through Antarctica Press too, and he wanted us to have the characters meet Tomorrow Girl, his character. So we did a 2 Tons of Fury meets Tomorrow Girl, and we're actually working on a 3rd issue where 2 Tons of Fury meets Cthulhu, which this one is going to be really off the rails.
Yeah, it sounds like it keeps getting more and more off the rails.
Oh yeah. That's the fun part about writing it. It's just like there's nothing that I can't throw in there that just isn't going to that doesn't work. So
it's good to see though, because I feel like these type of comics, like I feel like the audience today doesn't. It's not serious enough.
No, most of the people, we actually 2 Tons is a really good seller for me at conventions, but it usually sells to the older people that remember those characters from the 60s. But we created a comic to look like a comic. We did like the go-go checkers, like, old DC comics. And if you've seen the pages in it, we had the colorist actually color the pages where it looked like an old comic pages. They were kind of like yellowed and everything. Yeah. So we wanted it to like, if you opened it up to think, well, this might have been a comic. I just didn't.
Exactly. It looks like it by looking at the cover, because usually, when you see these covers, they're way more crisp, and this looks like something that's been laying around there for a while.
Yeah, so we went out of our way to kind of make it fit that image, and like I said, it's a really fun book to write. It's one of the few, when I write a book, it's taken me sometimes months, maybe even years to finish a script. This book I actually wrote in one day. Once I got the idea for it, I have this little stand that I stand up because I get tired of sitting. I went out on my porch, put the stand, turned the radio on, and just spent the next 5 or 6 hours writing it, and just went. It just was so. It just wrote so easy, and I wish everything I did went quite that easy.
But it's good. Like I said, it's good to see because I feel like those fun things, and I feel like like Batman, the '66 Batman. These can't be fun things. And now, if you try to do something like that now, you get that pushback of it's not serious enough. And I'm always like, it's a comic book. It's a comic book.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a place, for serious comics, and there's a
I
place
agree.
for comedy
Well,
comics. The problem is the serious and the dark has basically overtaken comic. That's why I don't even, I really not a big fan of Batman because they've taken him and made him so serious that I just But I mean, I write some of my books are very serious, and but I also want to write the funnies in there too. One of my biggest inspirations is Steve Gerber, who created Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah.
And his, when you read one of his stories, it could be the most serious story in the world, but there was always going to be some type of comedic relief or some absurdity in it that
Yep.
And almost everything I write has that. Like Alma, which is a very serious book. It's basically a horror book, but one of the main characters in it is Tyrone, who's a 3-foot talking garden gnome.
I gotta say that when you're doing the books that are darker and things like that, you have to find the moments where you can have some whimsy in them.
Yeah.
And you guys are right. Whimsy is missing in a lot of books today. So trying to find that, even if it's visual or if it's, people should realize that, it's not always a life or death in every single story. And it's not always life or death in real life. And everybody should take the time to try to find some whimsy.
Yeah. And it would be boring to write something that was all dark and there was nothing in it that, brought a smile to your face.
Well, it really bothers me when they try to make Howard the Duck serious. So, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't been able to read any Howard except for Steve's. I've tried, and none of it turns out right. Because Howard was, a reflection of Steve Gerber. I mean, he put so much of himself into it that.
Wow, this looks fantastic. I like the fact that you put it all together. And dude, where else can you, for $50, where else can you get so many books?
Yeah, and the good thing is everything is 100% finished. You don't have to wait for anything to get printed after the campaign's over, and you don't have to wait for it to get shipped. Basically, as quick as I can write up the emails and push buttons, you'll get the books.
Dude, you have so many books on there that it's basically a giant anthology.
Exactly. This looks interesting.
Yeah, I've written 3 little books like that about writing comics. I have one on there called Alma the Script, which is basically the script for Alma. Because one of the things I get asked a lot is, how do you write a script? What does a script look like?
Yeah, I get that question a lot.
Yeah, and basically I put the script in there, and I write everything longhand first. I don't type it up or anything. I write everything longhand. Then I take that and kind of edit as I go and type it up. So in that book, you see the longhand version where I wrote it, and because when I write longhand too, it gets messy because I'll scratch stuff out, or I'll have like 4 panels, and I'll go, oh no, wait a minute, this panel needs to, and I'll draw a line. I mean, but it's a work in progress, and so I did that. And this creating comics is just about where I get the ideas, what I do with some of the ideas after I get it, like just basically going from the idea to the finished version of it. So, because people are always asking, where do you get your ideas, or how do you get your ideas, and things like that. I always say, getting the idea is the easy part. Ideas are a dime a dozen. It's what you do with the idea once you get it.
That is true. It's crafting it. It's making it. It's putting it together.
Yeah. You see, that's the problem. I get too many ideas. That's why I have so many books. Sometimes I wonder if I should have went like from just one issue you know, like if I just created Alma, I could be a issue 26 or 27 of Alma right now instead of, you know, 26 different versions of books.
I've said that before, but I find that after a certain point, I'm like, I don't feel like writing this anymore.
Yeah.
So I
No,
get you, because there's points where I'll sit there and go, "Oh, I could have kept writing this." I'm like, "No, no, no, you wouldn't have. You would
yeah.
have stopped."
Well, now, one of the newest things we did was the Kimi, which, like I said, I've got 2 issues of it already printed. We're going to do 4 issues of that, and then, you know, collect it in a trade, and then hopefully we'll go back and do like another story arc. But you know, that one, you know, I plan to finish 4 issues. So,
Well, let's go to the videotape and see what you got over here, because it looks interesting. That is amazing. You know, watching it all like that even makes it more amazing. And it kind of, I like the fact that it's a simple video, but it kind of gives you all the information you need. Here's
yeah,
all the stuff. This is what's there. Go check it out.
my skill set does not include making videos and stuff very well. So it was
Oh,
going
no,
to
you
be
did a great
something
job.
simple.
You did a great job, dude. I'm telling you, we've seen videos here that you know, you have to watch it. You're like, what? See, your video makes sense. Oh my god, yeah, but you have had some career, man. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've written a few things. I just, you know, we just did we've got a new book. I'm not going to do another Fund My comic, but my next project will be a Kickstarter, and it's we've got the first issue of the story. It's vampires versus zombies, and that's coming. It's probably going to be about 2 months before we get to it because
Oh, okay, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar, and it sounds familiar because you sent me the stuff, and I saw
yeah.
it. I'm like,
Well, before I did this,
logically, I wouldn't be able to victimize a zombie.
Well,
from what I saw, you got something good there.
it's actually
Sounds like a
vampires
Halloween
versus,
episode, Ralph.
Yeah,
it's
It's definitely a
vampires
Halloween
versus
episode. Even if it's too early for Halloween, John, he'll do like a Halloween in September. So just let him know.
yeah, it's probably going to come out around September, but it's vampires versus zombies, the journals of Enoch Chase. So the main character is Enoch Chase. He's like a monster hunter, a demon hunter. He's also, you know, depending on how versed you are in Bible history, he's actually supposedly Methuselah's father. And back in the day, there's actually a book, one of the missing books of the Bible called the Book of Enoch.
yeah.
Enoch was supposed to have been such a good virtual person that God took him to heaven without him having to die.
Yep.
Well, in my storyline, he actually decides he's tired of heaven and he comes back to Earth to fight the monsters and the demons and stuff.
Right.
You gotta find a reason. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to just have you know, like monsters and zombies or vampires and zombies, just a big fight. There's a lot of fighting in it, but I always try to find some type of core or some type of the actual core part of the book is a story about motherhood. So there's a little bit more to it than just all the fighting and everything.
But that's what we do, you know. You have these stories inside of these stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes it more interesting.
I'm a little confused though. I mean, does anyone really die? I mean, is a zombie not smart enough to like get a wooden stake and like kill a vampire? And, I mean, the vampire can't suck the blood from a zombie because I don't know. It just I'm a little confused. I gotta read this, John. I really want to see where you go with this.
I gotta tell you, Paul, from what I saw, just the art of it,
there's no doubt.
my
I mean,
God,
I'm sure the art's great. I really want to know what the story how it works out. This is really interesting to me.
Well, one of the issues I'm having with the Kickstarter is they actually flagged it because of the blood and stuff in it.
Oh, come on.
So we gotta find a
man.
work around that. Yeah. Kickstarter's in their new version of, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, the new version.
Oh, you got struck down by that when they were trying to. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys I know that were stuck as a result of that, and it just trying to make it right for Stripe kind of a thing.
Yeah.
They've since rescinded it, but like, oh my God, there was like every indie creator I know was like freaking out about that.
Yeah. Well, they just pulled their version of it, but they still said Stripe can still, say no. So they really didn't do much. They just kind of like pass it off to Stripe now.
Yeah, because that's what they were doing. They're like, it's Stripe's fault. It's them. They don't want it.
Yeah. Well, there's one Kickstarter. I don't remember who it was, but he had funded, and I think he funded like $40,000 or $50,000, and Stripe refused to give him the money.
Wow.
That would hurt.
That is messed up.
That is
to me, that's something wrong with that. I mean, if you want to say no at the beginning of the project. Tell you can't do it, but don't go through the whole project and then come up and tell you, well, we're not giving you your money.
That sounds like a lawsuit in the making. So
That sounds like a lawsuit to me. But isn't Stripe what funds OnlyFans?
Yeah, that's the hypocritical silliness that was part of the argument. It's like, wait. You guys make an insane killing working with OnlyFans, but you're gonna mess with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
People in glass houses.
Yeah.
Oh man. So folks, I put both links into the comment section. Paul, why don't you regale us with all the stuff that you're working on, because you are a busy man.
Sure. So I am the founder and creator of Time Enforcers, which is started out as a video game. Episode 1 is on the app stores, Mac, PC, Android, and iOS. And we're currently working on episode 2, but me being myself and being, I think, a little ADD, I think my family says I have it. I was working on episode 2, which is looking really cool. It's actually going to be a Galaga experience. You'll fly Amelia Earhart's plane and shoot at the bad guys. But I really would need to create essentially cinematography animations in order to animate the story. So doing that, I said, well, if I'm going to go through all the art, trouble of creating artwork for this video game, I might as well create a comic book. So that's what's really come about. Episode 2 is starting out as a comic book, and so just close that window, Ralph. It's great. But yeah, if you can, join the pre-launch. We're trying to get people involved with the campaign before it actually launches on the 13th of July, which is like less than 2 weeks away. But the whole point is, I want to get this book out. I'm really excited about it. It's part of a larger education initiative that we've worked up. We really, our grander vision for Time Enforcers is to make this an educational experience for kids. It's all about making learning history fun. It came out of COVID. I just saw the trials and tribulations with educators and with students in terms of learning virtually. I said, there's got to be a better way. So that's what, that's how the video game first developed. And then with the comic book, or I'm calling it graphic novel at this point, we're using that as a way to apply what we call universal design for learning, which makes it more inclusive for readers to get involved. So we have, in addition to this comic book that we're developing, we're also doing a tabletop role-playing game, which, again, it's all about engaging kids at different levels so that you can get them involved in learning. And so doing this approach, I've spoken to many educators about this, and they're all fascinated by it because we're not gamifying the experience; we're making the experience almost like a game, meaning that you're going to use a graphic novel, or you're going to use a tabletop role-playing game, or you're going to use these mission journals that we developed. It gets the kids writing things down as opposed to staring at a screen, and so it's getting back to basics with the education format, so that the kids will become interested. And it's all about having them get involved and actually learning the things they want to learn. And so what I love about this program, that the way it's developing, is we're touching on all the sweet spots for educators and for the kids, and just having it so that we bring social studies into light. Because right now it seems that everyone is focused on English language arts and mathematics, and history is getting left behind, which is not a very good thing. Because if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going, and there's no way you can judge where you are at this point. So I just it's a passion project of mine, but it's actually I'm building it up hopefully to be something more than this. So that's where we're going with this.
Hey, Paul, I gotta ask, what rule system did you base the role play game off?
It's going to be based on Trivial Pursuit, but also Dungeons and Dragons. One thing, I've played a lot of role-playing games, and I really want to make this an easy way to learn and play really quickly. A lot of times these kids, they may have learning disabilities, and you don't want to make it overly complicated. So basically, you'll have the history learning through the trivia aspect, but then we also introduce the whole role-playing aspect where you actually have to come up with scenarios to get yourself out of a situation. And so, I really like that combination of both those themes into it, because it brings in creativity as well as the object of trying to learn trivia at the same time.
Well, I love the idea of you tying history into. I'm a big history buff. I'm always reading nonfiction books and stuff. I like that you're tying history into it.
Yeah, it's one thing I wanted to do. I mean, I started off with the first episode being focusing on feudal Japan because I love the Seven Samurai, I love the Magnificent Seven, and I thought it'd be really cool to have that aspect, as a learning part. With this next episode, we're actually tying in Amelia Earhart, Togo, who ran the sled run in 1925 in Alaska for the kids with diphtheria. And then I have two characters that I made up for this. One is Detective Nick O'Time. He's based on the film noir characters from like the 40s and 50s, like the Humphrey Bogarts and the Robert Mitchums and the whole black and white era. And then Maisie the mechanic, she's actually an engineer who went to MIT and then graduated from Caltech with a doctorate in warp technology. So it's, I'm trying to make this a way for kids to identify, who they can be and aspire to be something greater. And what better way to do that than learn about the people who came before us and see what they did. I mean, these are just regular people, and they took it upon themselves to follow a passion, take it to the limit, and then really make a change. And there's no reason why we can't do that, why kids can't do that now. It's the same sort of aspect and attitude. So
just amazing.
Yeah, the Kickstarter's going well. I mean, I have a ad campaign going on through Facebook and Instagram, and I'm seeing a lot of people who I don't know getting interested in this. If you go through the pre-launch page, you'll get a free copy of the digital comic that I have, and then you'll have an opportunity to purchase what I call the VIP section. There's basically two cards. One is of Nick, and the other is of Amelia. And the way I'm working this is, I came up with this idea over the course of the past couple of weeks. These cards will play into the role-playing game, and if you have them, they'll actually have extra power-ups when you go to play the role-playing game. Because the way the game is designed, we use the dossier cards to do that. And so the dossier cards contain all the information about the character, like all their critical vitals, and then talks about them in terms of their place in history. So not only do you have like these cards detailing who the characters are, but the kids actually learn about who they are by just looking at the cards. And so if you do get the cards in advance, they're only offered during the pre-launch. Once the pre-launch ends, the cards are gone, and then you'll be able to play the game with more powerful cards once you get into it. So we'll be offering another set of cards once the campaign launches. So I'm going to develop 2 additional cards for the campaign. I think anyone that is going to join, it'll be kind of a surprise bonus. If you do join the campaign, you'll get the cards automatically. We're going to have stretch goals involved. So as we hit certain campaign tiers, we'll be be unlocking more stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. And then that is going to include, I think at this point, I got a surprise at Garden State Comic Fest on Saturday. Keith Williams did a piece of art for one of the variant covers, and it's of Nick O'Time. It's amazing. He did this version of Nick with what I call the gumshoe debilitator. So it's a magnifying glass that spits out blobs of bubble gum at the enemies and freezes them in their track. And it was awesome. I loved it. They said, turn the print over. I turned it over, and there's this portrait of Nick that he did. And he said, I'm not charging for this. I said, what? I said, this is amazing. I said, can I make this a variant cover? He said, of course. So I think what I'm going to do is take that version of Nick and offer that as a stretch goal. And anyone that contributes to the campaign and we make that goal, they'll get that automatic variant cover with no charge. So the way I look at this, I want to make this accessible. I really want people to get involved. So the tiers will be, pretty straightforward. If you get a physical copy of any of the editions, like a variant cover, you're going to get a physical copy of the generic cover. And then you also get a digital copy. And then there's a sheet of stickers we're offering as well. I really, looking at Kickstarter campaigns, I always hem and haw because a lot of times the tiers are just, I'll buy the variant, but I really want the regular copy too. And I have to make a choice and spend more money.
Yeah.
My feeling is you spend the money once and you get everything. And I think it's really a way to reward people. It's like, I really want to get the word out and I really want to hopefully get some traction into this and get people interested and really hooked on it. And that's really the ultimate goal. So.
And just to show you how talented our friend in here is, here we go.
Los Angeles, the city of angels, 1947. The war is over, but the streets still feel like they're fighting somewhere. Something sinister. The air's thick with the whiffs from Pan's 24, all-you-can-eat blue plate special, hot asphalt, and bad intentions. Neon signs buzz and flicker, casting purple and green halos into the puddles. Ripples that shift the wrong way, like the streets casting reflections of someone or something that should not belong here. That's where you'll find me, Nick O'Time, detective, time enforcer, and the guy they call when history's about to get itself into a knot. Some folks say I'm as tough as a $2 steak, and they're not wrong. But I've got a soft spot for the ones worth saving, the lost souls, the underdogs, the ones who never got their fair shake. I've chased crooks down back alleys, across oceans, and through centuries, and I've learned one thing. Time's got teeth. Bite the wrong way, and it'll chew you up quick and spit you right back out. But me, I keep my rules close, my friends closer, and my watch wound tight. Because in this city and in this job, if you're not watching the clock, you're already out of time.
So I had Humphrey Bogart in the back of my mind when I did that. And I said, who better to voice character this than Raphael? So it's just so
I
cool.
love noir characters.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh my god, it
So
was
much
so
fun.
much fun.
Good, dude.
I gotta say, it's if you're not having fun, there's just because I feel like I've seen a lot of people in this where they stress themselves the hell out, and you're like, dude, are you not having fun? And they've turned it into something else. And I understand that sometimes you want to make money or whatever you're doing, but you have to do it because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
There was one creator that spoke to one of the groups that I'm in where he basically summarized it by saying, hey, you got to treat this like a casino. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? This is our live stream. We're not treating it like a casino. Or are you talking about the gambling, the risk? He's like, no. You don't go in there with the attitude that you're gambling your life away. You go in there and gamble what you can put out on the table, and just that's how you enjoy it. The people who go up to the poker table and go, okay, I got $20 up to my name. Let's go ahead and turn it into something. Those are the ones that have a horrible experience.
Yeah.
But the people who try to make their best of it and gamble it and invest in a way that it's still fun. They don't charge $10,000 onto their credit card, things like that. they're the ones that still have the joy of the creation of the act. So it's hard to keep that in mind, but you're right.
It is. It's
Yeah, I
definitely
find
hard.
the less serious I take this, the better I am, and the more fun that I have. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's a comic book when you're all said and done. If you can't have fun doing it and then convey that funness in the book itself, then I don't know. I mean, then I should be writing a novel then instead of a comic book, So
I completely agree. So James, one more time, tell them where they can find you, so they can go check you out.
It can be found at angrybrainartworks.com. My comic, The Ballad of Nod, is currently on Kickstarter, and you can also find me at James Burton II.
There you have it, folks. And of course, I put the link for the Kickstarter there in the comments section. You want this book, folks. I can tell you from reading issue 1 and 2, great story, very to the heart, and great lessons, and very heartwarming. So go check it out. And
Thank you, Ralph.
No problem. And you, John, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on my. I have a Substack, which is right underneath my name. I also have a Fund My Comic. It's not on Kickstarter. It's on Fund My Comics. It can use some help. It's not doing all that great. Fund My Comics is not Kickstarter, so I don't think as many people get their eyes on it. But check it out. Like I said, I think, like you mentioned, I think, for the everything bundle, you can't get a better deal. $50 for, 16 comics plus 3 trades.
Yeah.
And plus 2 books about writing comics. So it's a lot of stuff you can get for $50. And you'll get it as quick as the campaign ends. There's no shipping, there's no printing, everything's already done. All I gotta do is push some buttons and send some emails.
It's one of those times where you as soon as it funds and as soon as it's ready to go, it's ready to go.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I just want to do an experiment with, just a digital version of everything instead of, my next Kickstarter will be a print and digital. I'm not, going to just do digital because I love, holding a comic book in my hand. I love the printed versions of it. But also, I have a Kindle. I have a lot of books on Kindle too. It's sometimes it's easier to read, when I'm carrying my Kindle around, but I also have a whole lot of books. I'll never give up, a printed version of a book.
Dude, my favorite thing is reading a comic. It's always been reading a comic.
Yeah, I mean, I think page turning is a big deal, in terms of the experience. That's what I'm finding out in creating this. Is just like, okay, it's great that I have this page ending here, but is it the right way to do it? And I'll actually add content or take content away to make it, a better experience. So it's kind of cool. It's interesting. I've never done this before, and having been a comic book reader all my life, I said, this is really hard sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot goes into that pacing to make sure your eyes go the right way and how it ends the right way. It's not like I've worked with writers who do not know how to do it, and it is very difficult to teach. Now, the whole iFlow thing and the page turn thing, and every artist has to consider both of them with every single page to get you to keep turning.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that, James. Totally.
Yeah, and it's funny because as writers, we have a little bit to say about that because we help the flow happen, and then you get yourself a good artist, and they help the flow even more, and then you work as a team, and you make sure that flow is happening, and that's what's important when somebody's reading that book. So, folks, we have something else over here that I'm going to show off to you guys.
Oh, this is alpaca sews. Cool.
Oh, yeah, dude. We have the fruit cows. And, of course, they got an apple cow. So I have to say, get your apples, folks. We're Bitten Apple TV. Go get your apples. She is actually, she already funded. She already went through her first stretch goal. And now that I'm looking at this, she's at her second stretch goal.
That's too funny.
Dude, and I'm telling you folks, you Apple Whiteys out there, Get your apple cow. This is just a great. We love Alpaca Suze. She does amazing work. And these
Sows, man. Alpaca sows. It's not Suze. Are you going to take her to court or what? It's Alpaca sows. Come on. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I just swore.
I swore a long time ago.
Look how far we got on the show. And finally, a fruit cow is what made you go over the end there.
They're cute as a button, folks. She hits the convention, so you can see her at the conventions. But you want to get in on this. These guys are just cute as a button, and of course our pals from Ember Glow and the Kids Table have this amazing starter D&D type package here. Where if this is your first time being a DM, this is the guide for you. And if you have players at your table that is their first time, this is the guide for you. If you want to teach your kids how to play D&D, this is the guide for you. Folks, I'm going to play the video and let it speak for itself. Here we go.
Step into the kingdom of Abalian and begin your family's first great Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Become great heroes, explore forgotten ruins, uncover ancient mysteries, meet strange and lovable creatures, and battle fearsome monsters. Secrets of Enderil is a learn-as-you-go RPG created for parents, kids, and curious first-time players who want to create a shared storytelling experience. The adventure unfolds naturally as you play, with only a few pages of reading to get you started. Even new players and game masters can easily focus on roleplay, curiosity, and exploration, instead of getting lost in endless rules. We'll introduce you to core game mechanics organically through the adventure itself, so you never lose your immersion in the story. Your players will take on exciting challenges and learn about making meaningful choices with real stakes. We've carefully balanced this with a fail-forward style of play that rewards creativity instead of punishing mistakes or unlucky rolls. And by the time your first adventure comes to an end, it feels like the beginning of many more stories still waiting to be told. Together. Gather your party. Your story starts now. The Adventure Guide. Secrets of Enderil.
See, folks? I wasn't lying, right? Folks, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. These great creators have amazing stuff. Go check them out. Support them. Support indie creators. I gotta say, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for that story that you've been looking for all your life, it's in the indies comics that you're gonna find it. I completely believe that, because that's why I started supporting indie comics, because I got tired of waiting for the stories to show up in the big two.
That's absolutely true. I buy big two books like so sparingly, and I'm just finding things a little bit different now. I only pretty much buy indie books, no matter where it's from, because they're just more creative. There's more sincerity, and that's kind of missing in all the raised by committee style that the big publishers do.
I completely agree. All right, folks. Any last words before we go?
No, it's just a pleasure meeting you, gentlemen. It was really great. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you too.
Thanks for having me. It was a good hour and a half or 2 hours that we were on.
John, as always, you're always welcome. When you do the new Kickstarter, or you just want to come back and geek out. James, same thing for you. You already know that. If you guys want to come on and talk and geek out, have fun.
Yeah.
Paul, of course, you know that.
I'm always here, man. I just I can't stop looking at that clock. I miss my clock so much. That was such a coolest clock.
We're going to circle back around to the clock, of course.
See, that's what you call full circle.
Exactly.
You're the first person that's noticed that clock and all my podcasts and everything
Wow.
I've done.
I knew exactly which one it was. It's just like, because I remember the gray outline ring.
Yeah.
It's like the yellow hands, and it's like Batman in the middle, looking so freaking cool.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm back to the big two again, but I'm sorry, that's such a great clock.
Oh, it is a cool clock.
Man, I got to make a clock reward.
All right, folks.
But don't get me wrong, James, your background's amazing. So the ballad and nod looks incredible. So really cool artwork. So.
I feel like the creature's trying to eat your head, though.
Yeah, I didn't say enough about that. I'm sorry. I digress. I got focused on the clock too much.
Don't worry about it.
No, I just need to put all that wonder inside of the clock and make a clock somebody can purchase. Now that I know there's so much clock enthusiasm out there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you did a ballad and nod clock, I think that'd be so cool, James. Think about it. You could have like that big guy there with the mouth and like be awesome.
I'm being serious. I'm gonna go look into what I can do for the next one.
Yeah, that's really cool. I bought one.
All right, folks. Hope you had a great time. Geek out. You can join us Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Apple Bites, and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Written Writ. And I'm working on having a special Friday show because I have a friend who wants to come on, and we're going to be discussing writing, comic book writing. So if you want to join us on Friday, I'm hoping to do it at 7:30. We'll see what happens because life sometimes doesn't allow you to do stuff like that.
Can't you give a little bit more forewarning than that? It's like freaking 2 days away, Ralph. I mean, come on, man.
I'm working on it.
What the heck?
It's still up in the air.
Still up in the air.
All right, here we go, folks. On this show, when it ends, I press the button.